know that I've spoken about this before, but I have way too much blanket yarn and I think it's time to do something about it. Today I actually put a little bit of it up on Facebook Marketplace to try and like sell to get rid of, because it is a kind of blanket yarn that I'm like not as keen on using. It's like a thicker type of blanket yarn to like the burlap blanket and stuff. But the other thing that I need to do is just start using some. So that is what we are going to do in this video. I'm going to spend the next few days trying to stash bust my blanket yarn. I'm going to try and make some things that I can take to my market coming up in March, and potentially just some other things that I can like put up on Etsy maybe to sell or gift to people in my life. So let's see what we're going to do with it. My first thought on what I want to do with kind of maybe a bunch of it is to make some of the mini loaf cats. I have made loaf cats in the past. I think that this market that's coming up in March, I really want to try making the mini loaf cats for them. I've made a couple, both are orange. So I think the first thing I'm going to do with this blanket yarn is make some like grey and maybe white mini loaf cats, because I do have those colours. That's fine. I think for the natural colors, it is going to be a little bit easier to get rid of, but I also have blanket yarn in like blues and reds and I don't know, a whole bunch of different colors. So maybe I will show you some of the yarn that I have a little bit later in this video, and you can let me know what you think I could make with it. I just got to editing this video and I completely forgot to do that or film like any of the blanket yarn that I have, so I'm gonna really quickly show you it now. So this is a lot of it, and you can see that there is like, I don't know, some of this blue, which I think I'll make Hugos out of, and then this yellow, maybe some of the ducks from Mama Made Minis, or like chick, the CC chick pattern. Red, I have quite a lot of red and I'm not sure what to do with it. I also have this kind of darker blue, and somewhere in here there is green as well. And then of course I have this little colourful one. The only thing I've made with that is a bunny. What else do I have in here? I also have a few more of this yarn, which I did make some of the Mama Made Minis elephants with, and they turned out really cute, but I still have a decent amount of it back there, so I don't know, I think maybe I need something to do with that as well. There's even more of that in this box. Some more of this, I guess it's burnout mystical. More of the yellow, more red. I have a lot of red. And then these are more natural colors. Again, that's probably fine. I have more red in there. This orange I do make something with later in this video, so you'll see what I do with that. And I also still have one of these burnout blanket tweed, which if you saw one of my Vlogmas videos, I made a whole lot of chickens in this, but I don't want to make even more chickens until those ones sell. So if you have other ideas for this kind of burnout blanket tweed, let me know. Maybe you can help. I'm definitely not stash busting most of my blanket yarn in this video because I just have so much, like truly so much. In fact, when I was clearing out one of my shelves in like this yarn shelf that you can't see, I pulled out that yarn that I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to use this, and behind it I saw this beautiful like navy blue blanket yarn that I completely forgot I had because it's been hidden from me. So that's another Hugo that I can make. I'm not sure if I'll make Hugos in this video because they do take me a little longer, and I think maybe what I want to do in this video is just try and like punch out some quick makes so that I can like reduce the stash with some like results. You know what I mean? I guess in the end, whether they're big or small makes, the result is the same. I'm getting rid of the same amount of yarn, but anyway, I hope you'll join me on this journey, and as always, as we're going through it, if you're liking the video, please feel free to give it a like, and if you're enjoying the content, why not subscribe to the channel? This is earlier than I normally say this in my videos, but we're doing things a little differently today, so let's go and make some mini loaf cats. Okay, so my attempt to use up my blanket yarn is not going like super well, but I have made 2 little chicken buddies, which I will turn into actual chickens and I will have them at my market. I did finish 1 mini loaf cat, as you saw, and then I have since made a couple of things, not in blanket yarn, but I have made 2 more little leggy froggies for my market. So this is unrelated to the blanket yarn stash, but I made them, so I thought I'd show them to you. I do have a weekend of crochet coming up, and when I say that, I mean tomorrow my friend and her mum are coming over and I am going to teach them how to read a crochet pattern. Her mum knows how to crochet, is actually a very good crocheter, but never learned how to read a pattern. So I'm going to teach her how to read a pattern and also just help my friend kind of get started learning how to crochet. So I think while I'm doing that with them, I will try and use some blanket yarn up. I think I'm going to maybe try and make potentially a couple more loveys, maybe another few mini loaf cats over the weekend. I'm trying to think of ways to use up this blanket yarn that is gonna result in stuff that I can either like sell or gift or something like that. I do still have a lot of the Mama Made Minis patterns from their pattern book, the Knotted Loveys pattern book that I haven't made yet. So I'm thinking that maybe I need to go through my yarn stash, take a look and take stock of the colors that I actually have and pick a few out that are gonna suit the various animals that they have in their book and just make a few. I have made a few in the past and I've loved all the ones that I've made. So I've made the duck, the panda, the rabbit, the elephant. I'm thinking that maybe the variegated orange I got could be quite cute for a fox. So potentially I'll try their fox one out because I think I have the right colors for that. But anyway, we'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow and I might get like peer pressured or swayed by my friend and her mum. So we'll just see how it goes. But of course, I will take you along with me. So you will see what I make either as I'm making it or I'll give you a recap after. But for now, I am going to switch off for a little bit. It is Friday afternoon. I'm not sure if I'll do any crochet tonight. It is Valentine's Day. We don't really celebrate Valentine's Day, so we're not really doing anything, but we might watch a movie or like play a board game or something like that. Just spend some time together, not spending money, which is good. So yeah, I don't know that I will do any crochet tonight. We'll see. I really have no idea, but anyway, I think the most likely scenario is I will see you tomorrow for some crochet. So I'll see you then. All right, team. I think I failed at this blanket destash challenge. I know I had time on the weekend to crochet and I was going to use my blanket yarn and like get rid of some, but that just didn't end up happening. I don't know. Maybe my heart wasn't in it. I don't know. But what I'm going to do is I will show you what I did make, and confession, a few of them are not in blanket yarn. They're just in regular old chenille yarn. So I'm sorry about that. But I also, in some way, didn't completely fail because 1, I did use a little bit of my blanket yarn, but 2, today, before work, I did put up some blanket yarn on Facebook Marketplace to sell, and I have had a couple of people message me about it. So I am still destashing some of my blanket yarn, and it's more than I would have been able to use in a weekend anyway. It's just not exactly how I intended it for this video. So you win some, you lose some, you know. But anyway, let me show you what I did end up making. So the first things we were making were these oak and mallow chickens. I did finish those off, sewed them up, hi Vango, and got those done. So I made 2 of them and they will go with me to my market in March. So that's good to have that stock as well. The other thing that I made in blanket yarn is a new to me pattern. I actually bought it this weekend. I was eyeing it off and I'm really excited to have made it. And now I know I'm going to make more of them because I'm like a little bit addicted to it. And it is the Wilder Fox pattern from Oak and Marlow. Are you sensing a theme here? Unintentional actually, that both of the things I made in blanket yarn were Oak and Marlow patterns. That's just kind of how it ended up, but that is this guy. He's really cute and he was a lot of fun to make. So I think this is a pattern that I will be making more of, and I might look at getting more of Oak and Marlowe's Fable collection patterns, which Wilder is part of the Fable collection. So there's a few other animals in that as well that I might take a look at. And then a couple of things that I made that were not from blanket yarn. While I was showing my friend and her mum some crochet stuff on Saturday, I made 2 axolotls for myself. These will also come to the market with me. I just need to put little smiles on them, little faces on them, but otherwise those are done and ready to go. Those are in Paddy's Plush, Spoonbill and Galar. And another thing that I wanted to make for the market were a couple more leggy frogs in green. So I've done that. I've made these. These are also in Paddy's Plush, the lorikeet color. So I'm happy to have like knocked out a little bit more market prep that I wanted to do, but not quite as much blanket yarn destashing as we were hoping for this video. I am going to keep trying. I'm going to keep making things out of my blanket yarn. I do have ideas for a lot of it. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes you just don't feel like making some things. Do you ever get that? That you're like, I have an idea for what I want to make and I have the yarn set aside. I know exactly what I want to do with it, why I bought it, but I just haven't had the itch yet to actually make it. Like I really want to make another Hugo whale or 2, but I just haven't wanted to commit to like that slightly bigger size of project in the last little while. I don't know if it's partially like having a new job and so not wanting to use too much of my brain for like a big project, or like what the go is, but I think that's what's happening in my little brain. So that is what it is. That's okay. And sometimes it just, that's the way it is, you know? I feel like this is like the least eloquent way I could have put that. Well, whatever. As far as my blanket yarn destash, I guess that's it. I know that it was like a little bit disappointing, but I'm really hoping that some more of the yarn that I put up on Facebook Marketplace sells and I can get rid of it to somewhere that will actually like use it and enjoy it more than it just kind of languishing in my stash. It was the kinds of blanket yarn that like I just couldn't think of something that I wanted to make with it, and some of them I have had in my stash for quite a while, and so they're now blanket yarns that I don't see myself using as much, like triple stranded blanket yarns and stuff like that, and they're just a bit harder on my hands, so I personally don't love working with that kind. And I didn't really want to like unravel them all and then I would have thinner blanket. I don't know, I just couldn't be bothered, and I figured pass it on, let it be free to someone else. So that's what I've done. That still counts as destashing, right? Maybe this can encourage you to do the same. Go through your stash. If there's things that like you aren't going to use or like can't see a reason or like project in mind for it, just let it go. I actually feel really good. I feel really good about it. And this was partially inspired, and I'm really not sure. It's Monday afternoon now and I started filming this I think on Friday, right? So it's been a while since I started filming, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but this was partially inspired by a video from Sharnova, I think is how you pronounce it. I should know this because I have an Irish husband and he's taught me nothing in 8 years, clearly, about how to pronounce things. But anyway, I actually asked him how to pronounce it and he was like, I'm not really sure, which is embarrassing for him. Anyway, basically she was just talking about like her stash and how long it would take her to knit through her whole stash, and if she kept accumulating yarn at the rate she had been accumulating it for like her first year of knitting, how much, basically just how much she would have in her stash and how long it would take her to use it. And I was like, you know what? I think I did that too. Like when I first started making amigurumis and realized I could use blanket yarn on them, I just started accumulating so much of it because anytime it was in the Spotlight Millends, I was like, oh my God, you never see this in the Millends. And so I bought a whole bunch of it, and then actually like it does come back somewhat often, and like often enough that I now have too big a stash of it. And I'm sort of starting to lean away a little bit from, not away from plushie making, but I'm also enjoying more making things like the Meadow book sleeve and kind of other, I guess, more useful patterns. This little rant really got away from me. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed coming along on this, like, whatever this was, honestly, destashing, just like doing a couple of projects, kind of a vlog, but not really. Whatever it was, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please feel free to give the video a like, and if you want more crochet content in your YouTube feed, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and join all of the other beautiful crochet lovers in our little community. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here with me. I know there's a lot of things you could be watching on the internet right now, and it is very kind of you to have chosen to spend your time here with me. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!